morning, everyone. Your Chill and Heal host, Chrissy, an alderman in Ward 6. And we are here to fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. We will open up, connect, be real, be raw, let go, share, and grow together, and simply live a happy life. And I am so excited to introduce Amanda Robichaud. I met Amanda actually, she didn't know me, but I knew her because she showed up to City Hall one day. And I was just so impressed. And we've become friends over the few months and have this amazing connection with our fathers as well. And welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It was a good surprise to join the show this morning.
Yeah.
Not something I normally do, just for anybody who's watching, but exciting, and I'm always up to try something new. So, and especially with you by my side.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate that. And you know what? I started this show in January of 2022 at the radio station because I just needed to speak up and connect with people. And with everything that has been going on in this world, we need connecting, common sense, kindness, and I feel like the media feeds us, the media feeds us what they want to feed us. And it's just important that we connect and stand together and, share what's really going on. And so that's what I got out of my comfort zone. I definitely, because I happen to be super shy, which is kind of interesting and funny.
Yeah, because you don't think that when I see you, or if I see your beautiful picture in the paper or on the news, you don't come off that way. And you're like Miss America.
Oh my God, you're so sweet. And to me, I was the kid in class that I was like, please don't pick me. I didn't want to answer any questions. It was just painful, that painful feeling that you just don't want to don't want to be called on. But now we are called on. We're called on to stand up and do what's right and use our voices. And I saw this amazing woman speak up and talk about addiction and homelessness. And I didn't even know you, Amanda. And I had heard your name, and I was witnessing as a citizen. I was actually running for office at the time, and this past spring. And I was just like, wow, that woman is like, where is she getting all of this courage, and how do you know how to help people? As we're trying to figure things out in life. Yeah. And I'm gonna whip this around because let's fast forward it. When we did connect, we found out that we actually kind of knew each other. Yeah. And she knew my dad, and everyone knows how I've lost my dad 8 years ago, but he's still shining a bright light on my path, I believe.
100%.
And
100%.
I have to say, Amanda showed up after my election and brought me flowers, and I was just so moved and touched because she's like, you know what? Your dad would want you to have these flowers, and I was so blown away. Yeah, it's just
he would. He's proud of you. He's proud of you, and he would want you to know that, and I know that.
And what's unreal is my dad would show up to my spa, and he would just bring me flowers, and he would bring so much joy. Yeah. And thank you for bringing me so much joy. And just, can you share a little bit how you knew my dad?
Yeah.
Because your dad worked down the street from my dad.
Yep.
And it's just it's a small world, and kindness and talking and
brings us together.
In
very unique ways. Yeah, my dad actually, with all the coverage, I guess, at the time that was happening with City Hall, my dad happened to see that you were running. So in the the Union Leader, on news links and things like that online, somebody was mentioning it, and they said, Chrissy Cantor stood up for your daughter. And my dad called me and he said, do you know who that is? And I was like, no, I have no idea. She's an alderman in the city of Manchester. And at the time, I think you were still running. And he just said, that's Jeff's daughter. And I was like, Jeff, and he goes, yeah, Car World. He worked for Car World. He used to go down there every time. I mean, all the time, honestly, because he used to have this really great M&M candy machine inside the front door, and he'd give me quarters to get candy out of there. But we'd bring our, PTO fundraisers down there, and her dad, he just had this way about making you feel like, even though you were in a garage with car parts all around, you would think you were in Disney World, because he was so good at making you feel good. And, the way he just spoke to you, he was so gentle. And like you, I was, super shy as a kid, the shyest person you could imagine.
I was so shy, yeah.
So, he would, get you in there, but he would just, he would get you to talk, and he just, I don't know, there's just that feeling, and he was so sweet. He was such a sweet person. And when my dad ever said that you were his daughter, I was like, no way. It's just a small world, and you couldn't possibly, knock us into each other any better way. So
I know.
This is great. This is great.
And it is really unbelievable. So my dad would buy some of your fundraising.
Lots of them.
Lots of them, which is
lots of them.
Warms
probably my only customer.
Because he was always about the kids.
Yeah.
Always about the kids.
He was so sweet.
And addiction hit our family hard. My brother, and so it's a long road. A long road to recovery. I'm grateful. He's
Definitely.
doing well, and but yeah, we want to help. And how do we help?
Yeah.
And how do we work how do we bring our ideas, and how do we make things happen? And so Amanda showed up, and I read the article in January of 2023.
Yeah, this
past year, with your ideas, and the Board of Aldermen brought you in, and you started doing the work. So when I came in, I was there to listen to the meetings, to understand how everything worked. And then I became an alderman, and that's when I did speak up, because I saw what was going on, and it was just not okay how you were being treated. Yeah. And we'll leave that to another day. But the process of having the courage to come to City Hall, which is twice a month, we have board meetings, and you have 3 minutes, and it's your freedom of speech, and it's so important. And come with ideas, and that's what you did. Can you share a little bit about how you showed up to City Hall?
Honestly, it was very intimidating. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I don't typically, and again, I know I said I don't normally do stuff like this, and I don't, because for me, I don't have, alphabet soup at the end of my name. I don't have all these credentials. I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody who could say, well, this is this because this book says so, right?
Right.
So, I try not to jump in to situations where it could get out of control right away, and I don't know what to say, or I say the wrong thing, God forbid. But it was really starting to bother me, the number of homeless individuals that were in the city at the time, and still it continues to grow. And, a number of them are struggling with mental health and substance misuse. Not every person who is homeless in Manchester is using drugs, so I do want to make sure people know that. And you do have some people who are in the city that have been homeless here for years, and they're not bugging anybody. They're not they're not defecating on doorsteps or things like that, and I don't think that they'll ever be a harm to anyone. But the individuals that were and are continuing to struggle with mental health and substance misuse, to me, we have resources. We have so many resources. But the problem is there's a significant breakdown in communication between, maybe treatment centers, the resources we have, and how to actually educate and get through to somebody who is in active use. They don't necessarily know how to navigate this system. They don't use the right words when asking for help. And I think to me it was just that stuff was really compiling, and I kind of got to this boiling point of just I had enough, and I wanted to make sure people knew, however it had to be done, we could get them connected to services and start, transitioning people off the street into sober living. I mean, we have over 32 sober living houses here in the state of New Hampshire, and there's plenty of beds. I mean,
so you just heard it. There's plenty of beds, and where is the disconnect from the streets to the beds to like real help? It's complicated, don't you think? Like the paperwork and so forth. So is that what you were doing, as helping people? Because I literally saw her, Amanda, totally help 2 people right in front of me. It was random, and I would love to. I need to check up on one person, but I know another person is doing very, very well. And it is complicated world. The paperwork is exhausting. Yeah. In life, what has happened to us in the past 4 years is just unacceptable, and we should have never been isolated. We should have never been scared to death. And the truth is setting us free, and we just have to have the courage to really look at it and really face things. But we're not alone. And what Amanda has been doing, and I know that you did change jobs. I'm going to jump around a little bit. That's what I kind of do.
That's okay.
But it's a complicated thing, just the way of getting assistance and help. It's complicated and overwhelming. And you were literally helping people, and it was effortless. And there's another woman, Alice, that is unbelievable, and I have to have her on my show.
She's incredible.
She's incredible too. So there are so many people that are doing great things, that are truly helping people, and it's just reaching out to the right people at the right time and
being a resource.
I
mean, it sounds simple in hindsight when you say, oh, there's all these treatment centers, there's all these beds, and it does. It sounds like it should be such a simple thing where somebody could just call and say, hey, I need help. But unfortunately, a lot of the individuals who are homeless right now, they don't have active health insurance. They're not entirely sure how to even go about getting it, and they don't understand in some cases that you need it in order to go to detox or a partial hospital program or intensive outpatient program. If they don't have insurance, when you're calling these places, they're asking you about privately paying. And in my experience, the number of individuals that I've spoken with directly here in the city, they're not really in this financial situation where they're able to just, shell out a couple $1,000 to detox. So they're really dependent on getting that health insurance. And that process all in itself can be really difficult to navigate. I know that, everybody has their own opinions and they're entitled to do so, but I have to tell you, like, if I'm helping somebody with their health insurance, I always reach out to the doorway here in Manchester. If they are here, they know exactly what forms have to be filled out. I mean, their team, when it comes to that, they've really got it down. I mean, they're wonderful. So I direct people there whenever I possibly can.
Awesome. I think that's the place that helped one of the gentlemen that I
we were working with, and the gentleman who walked up to us at the methadone clinic, he actually went there as well.
That's what I thought.
It's like the first step of the process, and they do a great job helping them with that. And I'll be honest, I mean, I've looked at the Medicaid website to try to, if maybe somebody couldn't get there, but to navigate it, I don't even understand what I'm reading, so the last thing I want to do is, screw up somebody's potential eligibility for health insurance.
Yep.
And then,
so you connect people.
Yeah.
So
just a connector. That's it. I mean,
that's what I say I am. I'm a connector.
We're connectors. We're connectors. Yeah. There's nothing magical about me or what I do. We know the right people.
Yep.
And it's because of the work that we do.
And it's guiding people to the right people to get the right help for every individual.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
I mean, because we really do. Like, the connections mean the most to me. And to be honest, if it's a for-profit company, a non-profit company, I could care less.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. It takes the entire community to save somebody from active addiction. It takes everybody. There is no single treatment center, here in the state of New Hampshire or in the country that is single-handedly going to just give the person everything they need. I mean, they can't. You have private practices. You need therapy after you get through the services. There's so much. And your family, I'm sure they know this from experience. Like, just because they go away for X amount of days doesn't mean that they're coming back and they're healed.
Right.
That's not how it works. It's a process.
It's a journey. It's a process. And it's a lot.
Heals,
and the family has to heal. And we have to change some of our behaviors on how we handle things. Forgiveness is so important. Yeah. Being straight up with people, loving, kindness, accountability. I can't stress that enough, and on for everyone, accountability. Like if I said something to hurt, someone's feelings or something, is holding myself accountable. I'm sorry I said that. This may be the reason why, or it's unacceptable, but my reaction, we are only human. We're finding our way. It's a lot. And it's not easy
to navigate.
And it's heavy on our hearts when we care.
Yeah.
We care so much.
Somebody you love to put in accountability or boundaries that are healthy for your whole family, like that can feel hard. Like your world is crumbling before your eyes.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it a number of times, and that's what my job and like the connector and just helping is for. Like, I want to be able to let parents know when their kid is with us. Maybe 2 weeks into treatment, your loved one is going to call you and they're either going to say, this place isn't for me, get me out of here, everybody else is crazy. Or they're going to say, thank you so much. Yeah. I really needed to be here. Mm-hmm. I mean, that conversation literally happens every 2 weeks. Like, and it's normal. But the family doesn't know that, especially if it's their first time with their loved one in treatment. They're not going to know how to accept that phone call on the other end. Yeah. They love their child. Their child is their most precious gem and gift. Like, you always want to be there to support them and help. Mm-hmm. So,
But there is a fine line between helping and enabling, too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because I've learned with experience, my gosh, definitely, where sometimes our helping we're actually enabling.
Yeah.
And so if they're going, well, this place isn't for me, well, why isn't it for you? Maybe it's because the rules don't work for you. Well, you know what? There are rules in life that we have to follow, for a safe place for everyone. So there is that accountability where it's like they might be like upset because they have to deal with something, and that their best way of dealing with it is running. And actually we need to pause, take a deep breath.
And work through
it, which is not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Whether you're sober or not sober, it's not easy sometimes when there's like so many emotions.
Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, in the past, probably the past 5 years, something that I really try to do is when I'm thinking about things, I try to remove any emotion that I have attached to it. Completely. Just get rid of it, narrow it down to just facts. Is this good for me? Is this not good for me? And then kind of work from there. Because it's so much harder when we're emotionally attached to something, anything. And to try to have to work through stuff. That's why you're probably really good at giving advice to other people. If you're not emotionally involved, it's so easy to say, well,
it's
do
way
this,
easier.
and this. But if you're that person and you're like, well, that's great advice, but I can't apply it to myself.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. You have emotions involved.
Yes.
But I mean,
that's huge.
Just
that's
try
huge.
to remove them, and you can get a little further down the road. But
so keep it fact-based.
Yeah. I mean,
and try and take the emotion out. And I think that when, we're natural, I can tell you're a mama bear. I can totally tell. You are so much heart, and it's like when you have all that heart, it's hard to pause sometimes, and it really takes the front part of our brain to think, all right, logically, okay, you know what, I can't react. So I've been on this journey of not reacting for probably about a decade, because and I say not react, it's like, let's handle the situation instead of react to something emotionally. That is hurtful.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, but as we get older, or sometimes I know a lot of young people they are already ahead of the game. They can pause. And sometimes we've lived a life of reacting, and we have to change our behaviors.
Yeah.
And take a deep breath. Ask to take it off my plate, please. Help me see the facts.
Yeah, and honestly, like just what you said right there, like these behaviors, we have to change them.
Yeah.
That's something that we're dealing with every day in the behavioral health field. Somebody who's struggling with long-term addiction, it's years and years of compiled, negative behaviors that they have to try to erase, in maybe 30 days. Maybe they only have 60 days of time to do this. And it is hard. It's really hard. I mean, if you're a 78-year-old man who's been using substances for the past 50 years, now you're in treatment and they say, well, sir, when you have a hiccup in the road, you can't go use something. How are you going to work through it? But he doesn't know. He doesn't have the coping skills. He doesn't have that learned, healthy behavioral pattern. And that's where recovery can be a good tool.
Yes.
And that's what I thought, like with the city of Manchester, I was like, if we have all these individuals who are out here struggling right now, there's a lot of goodness in the individuals who are homeless. I mean, right now, what you're seeing on display it's a lot of fight or flight mode, right? Like every day they are struggling to survive, to get their next meal, to stay warm, to stay cooled, to get clothes that they need. It's detrimental. I mean, being homeless is a trauma all on its own.
It is.
Never mind all the other factors that play into it. Your safety, if you're a female, if you're a male. Like, there's so much. So they're in constant fight or flight mode, right? And I always try to tell people, I'm like, stop. You can't look at individuals as if they're an animal at the zoo, right? Like, put yourself in their shoes for a minute. How would you be responding? Yeah. If you have a bad moment at home, luckily you're in the house surrounded by 4 walls that are protecting the outside world from seeing you maybe have a freak out moment, right? They don't have that same ability. Their freak out moment is public. Everybody is seeing it. And that's the part, like, I really feel for them, and I want to help. And, like, because you can help. You can get people out of this state.
Yeah.
Like, there has been a point in my life where I was homeless in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm not homeless today. I actually owned 3 homes. Like, I'm not homeless. And it's nice to be able to say that. Yeah. But I know what it took to get myself out of that situation. And you have to be willing to propel yourself forward. You have to be willing to put in the work. It's hard. It's never going to be easy. It's not meant to be. But you can get out of it. And if someone like me can develop a simple plan for the city, there are people who are out there right now that have solutions to other problems that we don't even know they're facing yet. I mean, there's so many other solutions that are out there, and somebody who is homeless has that answer. And I believe that there is a lot of, there's a lot of beauty in the pain that people just don't necessarily see. And I see through the pain. I'm looking at the beauty in it, and we can pull it out. I truly think we can. We can. We got the new mayor.
We have the new mayor. There is a new day, January 2nd.
Cannot wait.
I am so grateful and honored to be serving with this incredible new board and Mayor-elect Jay Rouet, that you personally know too. And I didn't know that you knew him from years before.
Yeah, we worked together on other projects, and he's just like phenomenal. He's phenomenal. I mean, even the people who maybe did not vote for Jay, I just want to share with you up front that I think you are in for a really good surprise, because he is for everybody. It doesn't matter if you vote blue or you vote red. He is for all the people. And that is, I think, what matters most when you need a good mayor. You know? You need somebody who genuinely cares about everybody's best interest. And that is something that I think a lot of people are going to start to see. And that's, I mean, just hearing that alone and saying it, like, you can't help but feel good when you hear and say things like that, because we need it.
Yes.
We need it.
We are getting a red, white, and blue wave of caring, true freedom, accountability, transparency, and I'm grateful to be on this wave, and because everyone matters, and our solutions, and I say as a community, having solutions, and with that, a process of accountability and really making sure that these programs work. And, you know, I know that your program did work, and then you did leave your current role, and now are you doing something similar in your new role? Can you share about that? Because I'm just like, it's so important that we, you know, honor, because I know that there was a letter that went out. I don't want to be brief on that said that you were distraught and so forth, and that's why you got left Gatehouse. Gatehouse. Yeah. And that's not true.
No, no, that's not accurate.
Because what I'm hearing is you are fueled by helping people, and you are there for the people. And that is why I'm so grateful for so many people that ran and that won, and Jay that won, and we are for the people.
100%.
And doing what's right.
I agree. I mean, there's no denying it. Like, mentally, emotionally, physically. I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm very healthy, and I'll never not help a fellow person in need. I mean, homeless or not homeless, struggling with addiction, not struggling with addiction. My new role is with Aftermath Addiction Treatment Center. We're opening a behavioral health, so it's going to be mental health primary.
That's amazing.
It's all in Wakefield, Mass. So it's a little bit of a hike from up here. But even with it being in Massachusetts, I mean, daily, I am still very much in the grind of New Hampshire, what's going on, helping people get placement. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter to me if you can't come to Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I'm going to always be there to be a serving leader to the community, to anybody around me. It's in my blood. Like, I can't not.
And I see it. I feel it. She is a ray of light. And if you haven't met Amanda, you've got to meet her someday. You've been an angel in my life, and to see you shine so bright in this heaviness and the darkness that, you know, that so many people experience, and you're truly helping people. And thank you for coming on, especially last minute, for being so brave. And you know what, you inspire me to be more courageous, and to keep shining even when they're punching you down. It's like, you know,
well, that's what attorneys are for. We'll
Thank
see.
you. Thank you, Joe Kelly Lavasser.
That's right.
And, you know, and to your husband, who's a firefighter, who's out there on the front lines. I just want to, you know, thank you for coming on, and thank you to all the first responders, the firefighters, the police, and elected officials. You know, this has been heavy times through this time, and it's just 2024 is going to be an amazing year. We're going to help more people.
For sure.
And, you know, I want to wish everyone a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy, Happy New Year.
I agree. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. All the jazz. We're excited. I'm excited. I mean, I wish I could give hot cocoa out over, you know, the TV to everybody and just be like, let's go. Like, let's get into this new year. Let's see it going on, and, you know, let's watch what happens at City Hall with the city of Manchester. Like, the city is about to become what it's meant to be. I mean, I can feel it. I know it is. So I'm excited for that.
I'm so excited. And we're being sworn in January 2nd at the Palace Theater. And It is January 16th is our first alderman meeting, and so join us. And I just have to share one thing on here. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us. I was saying my gosh, when I first got elected, I said, let's just do life smarter. Let's bring back the joy. And I just think bringing joy and hope to our community is the key thing, and forgiveness and love and pausing and just being thankful. And I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for everyone out there, and I'm thankful for you, Amanda.
Same.
Thank you. And God bless you, and have a joyous holiday, and we love you.